Ladies and gentlemen, we've invited first class, now we're inviting executive platinum, emerald, sapphire, and ruby if those words are written. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome back Lee Harris. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I thought you were going to go with some Halloween pun or something then, so well done for not falling into that trap.
No, I saw on social media today that people were saying if you're the type of person to use a trick or treat or Halloween pun, that well, you're just a waste of space. So I thought I'd stay away from that.
Why didn't you use one then?
I think I wasn't quick enough. I wasn't, you know what? I mean, with all the stuff this morning, the fact that my clocks went back and I didn't realize it, and it was just one of those mornings. So I wasn't very quick today.
We'll let you off just this once.
Thanks. Now, I have to mention that Crew Travel is brought to you weekly by Blue Marine Travel, who haven't lost a passenger since Lee Harris was born back in the late 1900s. And of course, their people move people.
We do indeed.
You have an exciting announcement. You just opened up your new office.
We did. We did indeed, yeah. Our third permanent office has now been opened. So it was hence why we didn't have the show last week. I do apologise. But I was in Fiji getting the last little bit sorted. But yeah, we can now announce we've got our third office opened in Suva in Fiji. We've got 4, 5, 6 permanent staff there, sorry. Just going for a bit of a training process at the moment. But yeah, it's there, it's ready to go, and it's all systems go.
Nice. Well, I mean, that must be hard for you, having to oversee an office in Fiji.
Just of all the places to open an office is a real slog, I've got to say.
I know. The next one's going to be in Alaska, and they're going to send you there to live.
I'm thinking maybe Hawaii or French Polynesia, somewhere like that. I mean, Maldives. I'm not fussy.
No, of course not. I think the Northwest Territories, like Yukon, that would be good for you.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Right. So the world of travel, what's going on with Heathrow at the moment?
Yeah, so summer operations at London Heathrow were impacted by the implementation of a daily capacity cap. The airport had to implement the measure due to being unable to run at full capacity as a result of unexpected growth and a lack of staff. However, the facility is now in a position to remove this cap. In a statement released this past week, Heathrow Airport confirmed that it would be removing its daily passenger cap at the end of this month of October. This follows a summer of growth at the airport and will allow the facility to operate at full capacity once again. Rumours of Heathrow's limit being removed had begun to emerge earlier this month. Heathrow implemented the cap in July, limiting its daily capacity to 100,000 passengers. This generated a degree of backlash from certain airlines, one of which Emirates being an outspoken critic of the move. It was originally set to be in place until mid-September, but was extended to late October, and similar limits have been implemented at other European hubs such as Amsterdam Schiphol.
Great. And of course, wouldn't be a chat without something about strikes, but this time it's good news for the Swiss pilot strike.
It is indeed, yeah. Swiss Air has succeeded in averting potential strike action by its cockpit crew. That's by reaching an agreement between its management and the pilots' union. This has brought an end to an extensive negotiation period, with stability now lying on the horizon for the Switzerland-based airline. This had been a looming threat at the airline in recent times, with it being reported that its pilots would be voting on potential strike action following failed negotiations. Until now, pilots at Swiss had been working with an accord for around half a year following failed talks in April. The new contract agreement marks a key turning point, and the pilots aren't the only ones with a new deal in place. The ground staff at Swiss have also reached a deal with the airline regarding a forthcoming pay rise. This will see the employees of the division receive a raise of at least 2%, alongside a €2,500 COVID bonus, that to replace lost earnings during the pandemic. The agreement, which concerns around 1,500 members of staff at Swiss, will come into effect in January.
Great. Well, a little bit of good news. Not quite the cost of inflation, but something, isn't it?
Something's better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. And Hong Kong Airport has news.
It does, yeah. So last week, Hong Kong International Airport fully implemented its much-awaited flight token system. Flight token allows travelers to pass various departure checkpoints through biometric identification, saving the need to present boarding passes and travel documentation. The biometric system is in place at various self-service checkpoints across the airport. Through flight token, travelers can complete the entire departures process, that being from check-in and bag drop to security and boarding, through self-service for a seamless airport experience. Now, to get started, create a flight token during the initial check-in process at a smart kiosk. After receiving a boarding pass and luggage tag through the kiosk, travelers can self-drop bags before going through the e-security gates. That's by scanning their faces. The immigration process can then be completed through flight token e-channels. Flight token e-channels are available at both the north and south departure immigration halls, while all departure gates at Terminal 1 offer e-boarding gates. The airport's flight token system received the prestigious Best Innovation in Airport Passengers related processes in the Amadeus and ACI World Technology Innovation Awards 2021.
Wow. The world is becoming a different place, isn't it?
It's all technology, isn't it? Don't need people anymore.
British Airways.
Yeah, in good news for crew traveling to the Caribbean for the season, the Cayman Islands is receiving expanded airlift from the UK. British Airways is adding a 5th weekly flight from Heathrow for the 2023 season. The schedule will see flights operate to Georgetown, Grand Cayman on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. The launch of the additional frequency on the Caribbean route follows the Cayman Islands' full removal of COVID-related travel requirements back in August.
And the country that had some of the strictest COVID lockdown rules and just pure strictest COVID everything, New Zealand, they've made a change.
They have indeed, yeah. So the final restrictions on international travel to New Zealand has been removed. Travellers flying to the country are no longer required to fill out a declaration form disclosing their COVID-19 vaccine status and travel history. The change was confirmed in updated Foreign Office travel advice on Friday, following the lifting of New Zealand's COVID restrictions back in September. This means that there are no longer any requirements for travellers to be fully vaccinated in order to travel to New Zealand. The New Zealand government said travellers are no longer required to complete a New Zealand traveller declaration to enter New Zealand. New Zealand's COVID-19 entry requirements have been completely removed as of the 20th of October. So travellers no longer need to test for COVID on arrival, prove their vaccination status, or provide information for contact tracing to enter the country.
There are still some countries around the world that have some of these, restrictions lagging on, as it were.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there's still some that are holding on to a little bit of COVID travel requirements. Some still required to be fully vaccinated to enter. So it's still pays to check before you travel anywhere, just to make sure.
And do you guys have all that information on your website?
We may not have it on our website, but feel free to send us an email and we can certainly check it for you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lee, I want to say thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure.
Not quite as much of a pleasure as hanging out in Fiji for a week.
I don't know. It's always a pleasure seeing you, Ria. So,
You're about the only person on the face of the planet that would say that. Anyway, I have to say that Crew Travel is brought to you weekly by Blue Marine Travel, who haven't lost a passenger since Lee Harris was born and back in the late 1900s. And of course, their people move people to and from Fiji.
Well, there's definitely one person to and from Fiji anyway.
Yeah, probably you quite a bit in the future. Yeah.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. No biggie. No biggie. Thank you once again, Lee. You've been watching another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. We'll see you again next week.